noticed that about like Call of Duty and other games, and it's just like,
What people are talking about. Battlefield 2042 is an improvement in the series, in my opinion.
oh yeah, no. But everybody keeps comparing it to Battlefield 4 and Bad Company 2. You know, hell, people are saying that it's better than the previous two Battlefield games, and saying that those were better. And I'm like, if you look at the pattern for Battlefield launches, it's always the same. The beta is terrible, the early game is shit, and then all of a sudden, after a while, the gameplay gets better. And everybody's also not spending enough time with it.
Also, I'm pretty sure you only played in the beta.
Exactly. So
I
he
think,
can't.
I don't know about if you played after launch.
Well, if he's played after launch, then he can have his opinion.
I think he did. He said, like, I tried to give it after the launch, but it didn't change enough from the beta, was like his thing. Like, I think.
Well, the beta was already, pretty much the finished game. They just wanted to see what really big bug fixes they needed to do.
I think he was just saying it didn't improve enough from the beta. You know, it's a game that had a very similar story to that. Hello Neighbor.
Yeah.
Hello Neighbor started really strong with a really cool like pre-alpha and alpha premise, and then they kind of embellished all of their worst traits as the game went on. Like, they focused too much on the story instead of the gameplay, so the game was like a hot garbage mess with a weird like, it's not that its lore was like awful, it just wasn't as good as it could have been.
It is indeed the story with quite a few games, actually.
Like, I almost feel like MatPat's theories were what was making the game. In some ways, like, because after MatPat stopped, like, making theories, the Twitter account for the fucking game, or it might have just been Tiny Bolt Twitter, I don't know, kept being like, oh, I wonder how he's going to react to this next thing. Mm-hmm. Making it clear that this was the audience they were going for. They were going for that theory community. Mm-hmm. Like, they wanted to be the next Five Nights at Freddy's, and Five Nights at Freddy's, you can't knock it, had consistent gameplay, and was a bit more earnest in the small scale. Like, the games are actually buggier than you think, because there's a lot of mechanics that you don't realize aren't really meant to work the way they are. Mm-hmm. Like, people forget, FNAF has always been a little buggy. It just so happens that those bugs are so unnoticeable that you don't realize that's not how they're supposed to work. Mm-hmm. It just so happens that when we went to a big scale game like Security Breach, those bugs became real fucking noticeable in the 3-minute speedruns.
Yeah.
It's also really poorly optimized. That's the biggest flaw. But then again, fucking Ultimate Custom Night was poorly optimized. Scott had to add in a thing, like a filter, basically, like, to fucking fix one of the problems. Because there was the pseudo 3D effect on the games. Was like lagging it. Mm-hmm. By the way, 349 for the time on my bridge.
Wow.
Keep in mind, this is initial D%, so it's not counting the opening cutscenes and shit.